Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I am Dr. Shwetali and today we are going to discuss 12th chapter of Robert Philosophy, the dynamic action of the drugs. Okay, so about this chapter, हम लोग इस chapter में क्या पढ़ेंगे? We are going to learn about the dynamic form of life which is present. That similar form we will find in our homeopathic medicines. Okay. सो इस चैप्टर में हम लोग दो चीज़ें पढ़ेंगे, दैट इज़ द सिमिलैरिटी बिटवीन डिसीज एंड मेडिसिन एंड सेकेंडली द डायनामिक पावर एंड हाउ इट कैन बी अराउज्ड इन द पेशेंट. हम जो होम्योपैथिक मेडिसिन यूज़ करते हैं दैट आर हैविंग सम डायनामिक पावर, और हमारी मेडिसिन की, हमारे ड्रग्स की डायनामिक एक्शन कैसे रहती है. We often speak of Hahnemann as the first to note the similar action of drugs and disease condition. But our history shows us that it is not true. Before Hahnemann also there are some people who know this dynamic action. Before Hahnemann also some people know about the similar action of drug and disease condition. So 10 centuries before Christ, the ancient Hindu system of medicine was founded on the theorem which translated almost in identical words to those of Hahnemann. And also Aristotle, about 350 before Christ, he used the theory that if simile acts upon simile, here simile means same. So simile acts upon simile, the result of this mutual action reveals itself in neutralization. If the simile of the remedy acts upon the simile of the disease, the result of this mutual action is neutralization and also annihilation of the original qualities. But surely the question of dose was the one which Hahnemann solved. Hahnemann से पहले भी लोगों को ये पता था that if we are that there is some similarity present between the drugs and disease condition, but the question of dose, this was the first time solved by Hahnemann. The question of dose rests upon the philosophy pertaining to the practice of homeopathy. Ignoring the law of doses reveals a lack of concept of the dynamic influence. So here Dr. Robert want to say that अगर हम लोगों ने लॉ ऑफ डोज को इग्नोर किया तो डायनामिक इन्फ्लुएंस का जो कंसेप्ट हम लोग फॉलो करते हैं वो भी इग्नोर होगा. In life, the dynamic force in its manifestation of life itself, the body and tissue are not life, but they are the channels through which life functions. In the dynamic force, in the life, how the dynamic force in life, the dynamic force is the manifestation of life itself. डायनामिक फोर्स जो है वो लाइफ को रिप्रेजेंट करता है. द बॉडी एंड टिश्यू आर नॉट लाइफ, बट दे आर द चैनल्स थ्रू विच लाइफ विल फंक्शन. देयर इज अ होल वर्ल्ड ऑफ कॉजेस प्रायर टू द वर्ल्ड ऑफ इफेक्ट्स. We should know the basic theories of science, like matter is indestructible and force is transmitted through the matter and therefore it is too indestructible. Matter may change in the form but it is always present. Force may change its expression but no limit of force is ever destroyed. So here Robert told us that there is some type of world of causes. Causes are always prior to the effects. Then we should know the basic theories of science, like matter and force both are indestructible. Force may change its expression but force will never destroy it. So whatever we call force, energy or dynamism, it is the law of nature. Understanding of this theory is very much important. The expression of this law may vary as attraction, gravity, electricity, chemical affinity, dynamism, or spiritual power, and all combine under one head, that is the source of power, that is God. Hahnemann was a representative of the school of thought, this school of thought. He became dissatisfied with the thought of his day, and he read extensively the medical works of the ancient. He found Stahl of Denmark and Hell of Switzerland, who had observed the medicines might cure the disease by the power they possess of causing like diseases in healthy human beings. So Hahnemann was the representative of this school of medicine, this school of thought. And when he read the extensive medical work of his ancients, when he became dissatisfied with the thought of that present time, he read extensively the medical work of the ancient, and he found two people. First one is the Stahl of Denmark and second is the Hell of Switzerland. Both of these people, they observed that medicines might cure the disease by power they possess of causing the same disease in the healthy human being. उन्होंने ये ऑब्जर्व किया था कि मेडिसिन जो भी हम लोग देते हैं वो क्यों डिसीज क्योर करती हैं, बिकॉज दे हैव द कैपेसिटी, they possess the capacity of causing the same diseases in healthy human being. He comprehended that these men had observed this phenomena, but they failed for its application. At this stage, Dr. Hahnemann determined to discover the action of drugs upon human beings by observing all the details of their action upon healthy subject. Hahnemann did not originate this idea of proving drugs upon healthy individuals, but he was the first to prove with a definite object in the view. After thorough and systematic study and comparison, after many long self-sacrificing ordeals, Dr. Hahnemann was able to work out and announce to the world the existence of an unsuspected universal law of cure. And this was the first step which culminate in the evolution of the new rational and scientific system of medicine. In short, this is the first step in the evolution of homeopathic principle. The full recognition of the law of similars rapidly succeeded the proving of drugs, and this was the second step in the evolution of homeopathic principles. Then after that, Hahnemann began the experiments of application of proven drugs for a cure of sick upon the basis of the law of similars by using drugs in their full strength. उसके बाद में जब ये दो प्रिंसिपल्स हैनीमैन ने डिस्कवर कर लिए, उसके बाद में डॉक्टर हैनीमैन ने एक्सपेरिमेंट स्टार्ट किया, experiments of the application of this proven drugs for the cure of sick people. And he made this experiment totally on the basis of law of similars. And while doing this experiment, he used the drugs in its full strength. Then in this experiment, he found that many times the patient came greatly aggravated. Hahnemann reasoned that the dose was too large. जब बहुत बार ऐसा एक्सपेरिमेंट करने के बाद में डॉक्टर हैनीमैन को पेशेंट में एग्रावेशन ही मिलता रहा, at that time for that aggravation he reasoned it as it is due to the too much large dose, and he experimented by diluting the drug on a definite scale, and he found that with the medicine which he is using by diluting the drug over definite scale, he found he get the better result. So as he get better result by this diluted drug substance, diluted medicine, he continued this process until he discovered that the curative power of drug have no proportionate relationship to the crude quantity of the drug, but that under peculiar and systematic reduction by a regular scale and by proper manipulation. So, जब डॉक्टर हैनीमैन आफ्टर रिकॉग्निशन ऑफ लॉ ऑफ सिमिलैरिस, जब डॉक्टर हैनीमैन ने एक्सपेरिमेंट स्टार्ट किया with the help of application of the proven drugs for the cure of sick, तब डॉक्टर हैनीमैन जो है वो फुल स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ ड्रग्स यूज़ करते थे. बट after some time he observed that patient became greatly aggravated by these drugs. So he start practicing with the diluted drug form. These drugs are get diluted over the definite scale. And he found that he is getting the better result with this medicine. So he continued this process until he discovered that the curative power of the drug, it had no proportionate relationship to the crude quantity of the drug, but it is obviously under the peculiar and systematic reduction on a regular scale. So Hahnemann setting out simply to reduce the quantity of his doses. So इसका रिजल्ट क्या हुआ? डॉक्टर हैनीमैन ने जो वो पेशेंट को ड्रग्स देते थे, जो पेशेंट को मेडिसिन देते थे, उसकी क्वांटिटी उन्होंने रिड्यूस कर दी. एंड ही डिस्कवर्ड पोटेंटाइजेशन, एन एंटायरली न्यू प्रिंसिपल इन पोसोलॉजी. This principle of potentization, it is wonderful development in the world of therapeutics, without which the law of cure would have been forgotten. And this is the third step in the evolution of the law of cure, that is potentization. Then Robert tells us about the Morgan's comment about Hahnemann. Morgan says that to Hahnemann alone due honor for discovering first the existence of the universal law of cure, and second that the specific properties of drug could be developed, transmitted and utilized by potentization. With the discovery of potentization or dynamization began the first practical test of newly discovered law of cure. After that क्रूड ड्रग के एक्शन के बारे में दिया है रॉबर्ट ने. That is, the crude drugs have 3 grades of action: mechanical action, chemical action and dynamic action. So the first 2 grades of action, that is mechanical and chemical, are of little comparative role in homeopathy. We generally depend upon the dynamic action of the drugs. Provings made from the 30th and above potency, we obtain more complete provings because of the dynamic action. By potentization, entirely new activities are developed, liberated and may be transmitted and changed into the potentizing medium. This is shown by potentization of the inert substances like carbovage, lycopodium and silica. Carbovage, lycopodium and silica, these are the totally inert substances in the crude form. But with the help of potentization, we can develop new activities in these inert substances also. And this proves the very good remedies in our homeopathy. Then Robert tell us about the orthodox medicine. In orthodox medicine, drugs that act in a high dilutions are of particular interest in pharmacology. Modern pharmacology recognizes firstly the reaction of amount of drugs so minute that it is not possible to tell how small the quantity or amount of drug in the solution is, yet it is still shows a definite action on the scale. and secondly, the action is much more rapid in the case of well powdered substance, that is triturations. And thirdly, regardless of the quantity of the drug used, the solution is activated to the marked degree by vigorous stirring, that is succussion. So in modern pharmacology also, it recognizes the reaction of amount of drugs that is so minute that it is not possible to tell how small the amount of drug is present in the solution, but still वो जो है वो एक डेफिनेट एक्शन हम लोगों को ह्यूमन बॉडी सेल्स के ऊपर शो करती है. Then the action much more rapid in case of well powdered substances, that is trituration. And thirdly, it is related with succussion, that is regardless of the quantity of the drug used, the solution, it is activated to the marked degree with the help of succussion. This shows the observation of the action of infinitesimal amount of drug on the physiological basis, that the greater the trituration, the more rapid the action. And the influence of succussion also speeds the rate of activity very much markedly. We are dealing here with problems beyond the reach of man's analysis, where we can only observe the effects alone. We can see in our observation of a human being is the effect of growth and development. With our study of medicinal action, we can only see the potency, crude drugs and their action. The effects can also seen, but the nature of the modus operandi is beyond our comprehension. So it is necessary that the observations must be recorded, and only by deduction we can know its meaning. Then Robert commented upon the many homeopathic colleges, that is, many of the graduates from homeopathic college do not grasp this dynamic concept of drugs. For that reason, they always stay in a material plane, using only the crude drugs. And this is unfortunate for the efficacy of their work. For once this concept is grasped, they realize that all the potencies are valuable and useful. So this is true in chronic troubles. For the test of real skill of a physician, when he treat a patient patient of some chronic disease, we can see his skill in the cure of these chronic patients and the eradication of the chronic miasm. The use of the potency varies with each individual because of its interpretation of the law of dose. Then Dr. Robert given some information about aphorism 278, 279 and 280, which is given in Organon of Medicine, given by Dr. Hahnemann. Here in short, I will tell you what he want to say. In aphorism 278, he told us about how small must be the dose of each homeopathically selected medicine. In aphorism 279, Dr. Hahnemann ने बोला है, the experience proves that the dose of homeopathically selected remedy cannot be reduced so far as to be inferior in strength to the natural disease and to lose its power of extinguishing and curing at least the portion of the same disease. So जब हम लोग होम्योपैथिकली सिलेक्टेड रेमेडी देते हैं किसी भी पेशेंट को, तो उसका डोज इतना भी कम नहीं होना चाहिए कि वो जो नेचुरल डिसीज़ की स्ट्रेंथ है उससे भी कम हो जाए, उससे थोड़ा ज़्यादा डोज होना चाहिए. डोज उतना होना चाहिए दैट इट कैन बी कैपेबल ऑफ कॉजिंग अ स्लाइट इंटेंसिफिकेशन ऑफ द सिम्टम ऑफ द नेचुरल डिसीज़. मीन्स क्या, स्लाइट होम्योपैथिक एग्रेवेशन पेशेंट में प्रोड्यूस होना चाहिए. Since Hahnemann's time, potentization has been greatly developed, and we are often able to avoid this slight aggravation, which Hahnemann refers to as almost a necessary complement to the cure. When we get this aggravation now, it is because the remedy has been given too low or in too repeated form, or because the patient is particularly susceptible to the power released by potentization. डॉक्टर हैनीमैन के टाइम से अब तक पोटेंटाइजेशन जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा डेवलप्ड हो चुका है. सो व्हेन वी गेट दिस टाइप्स ऑफ एग्रेवेशन नाउ अ डेज, इट इज़ ड्यू टू यूज ऑफ टू लो और रिपीटेड द dose too oftenly, or because the patient is particularly susceptible to the powers released by potentization. When this slight aggravation of the natural disease appears after the administration of remedy, it is an indication of correct choice of remedy. जब हम लोगों को इस तरह का स्लाइट एग्रावेशन पेशेंट में मिलता है, स्लाइट एग्रावेशन नेचुरल डिसीज कंडीशन में हम लोगों को मिलता है, इट मीन्स द इंडिकेटेड रेमेडी दैट वाज द करेक्ट चॉइस ऑफ रेमेडी. जो भी रेमेडी हम लोगों ने दी है, दैट इज द करेक्ट चॉइस ऑफ रेमेडी. Fink says that the dose is appropriate, which will be proportionate to the degree of susceptibility of the patient. So Fink ने भी यहाँ पे कमेंट की है रिलेटेड विद डोज, दैट डोज कब अप्रोप्रिएट रहेगा, डोज कब प्रॉपर रहेगा, व्हेन इट विल बी प्रोपोर्शनेट टू द डिग्री ऑफ ससेप्टिबिलिटी ऑफ द पेशेंट. जैसी पेशेंट की ससेप्टिबिलिटी है उस पर डिपेंडेंट होके डोज हम लोग एडजस्ट कर सकते हैं. द क्लोजर द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन द डिसीज सिम्टम्स एंड द ड्रग सिम्टम्स, द ग्रेटर द ससेप्टिबिलिटी and higher will be the potency required. It is hopeful sign when the younger physician begins with the use of the fairly low potencies. And for example, low potencies means 30th potency or medium potency, 200 potency. And then progresses upwards. In this way, one can learn for himself the use of potencies and their dynamic action. And he will soon learn the use of higher potencies with skill, with much satisfaction. Then after that, Fink explains the action and efficacy of the infinitesimal dose by applying the law, that is, the quantity of action necessary to effect any change in nature is least possible. And added to this, that according to this principle, the decisive moment is always minimum and infinitesimal. Means क्या? एक्शन और इफिशियंसी ऑफ इन्फिनिटेसिमल डोज के लिए ये चीज़ फिंक ने एक्सप्लेन की है, दैट इज़ द क्वांटिटी ऑफ एक्शन नेसेसरी टू इफेक्ट एनी चेंज इन नेचर. नेचर में अगर हम लोगों को कोई भी चेंज लाना है तो उसके लिए जो भी एक्शन नेसेसरी रहेगी, इट विल बी ऑलवेज मिनिमम, इट विल ऑलवेज बी लीस्ट. And according to this principle, the decisive moment, it will always minimum. The law of least action is necessary complement to the law of similars. According to this principle, the quality of the action of homeopathic remedy is determined by its quantity. Consequently, the law of least action must be acknowledged as a posological principle of homeopathy. When one medicine is indicated in a case, the same indications are present for the other also, but the potency will be different, lower or higher potency. The knowledge of potentization was of gradual growth, and it will be his greatest lasting contribution in the evolution of this system of applying drugs to cure of disease. नॉलेज ऑफ पोटेंटाइजेशन, ये डॉक्टर हैनीमैन का वन ऑफ द लास्टिंग कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन है इन द इवोल्यूशन ऑफ होम्योपैथिक प्रिंसिपल. The principle of similars was of little practical use until the principle of dynamic use of drugs and the minimum dose were discovered to complete the trinity. So here Robert told us that principle of similars, principle of dynamic use of drugs, and the principle of minimum dose. These three will form one trinity, where all the three angles of each trinity is equally important, and each of them will support the other. Only then homeopathy became practicable. जब ये तीनों चीज़ का बैलेंस हम लोगों की प्रैक्टिस में होगा तभी होम्योपैथी प्रॉपरली वर्क करेगी. Hahnemann's work is important after the work of Hippocrates, Heller and Stahl. The power developed by the process of dynamism is tremendous when it can take solid substances. It is nothing less than a physical process by which the dynamic energy is liberated, developed and modified for its use in medicine. The true dynamic action and principle was bound to be imitated in attempt to modify violent, poisonous, morbific products of disease by transmitting them through living animals and make them of use in medicine. The serums are an attempt in crude way to imitate the simple though correct method of releasing the power from violent poison, but it is very inaccurate in its principle, and it is fraught with many uncertainties. So after that, Robert has given some comments of Dr. Stuart Close, idea of Dr. Stuart Close about potentization, where he stated that the Hahnemannian process, that is potentization, is purely physical, objective and mechanical. It does not involve any uncertain, unseen, unreliable nor the unmeasurable factor. Its elements are simply the substances or drugs to be potentized, then vehicles consisting of sugar of milk, alcohol or water in certain quantities and definite proportions. Manipulation under conditions which are entirely under control and so simple that a child could comply with them. Then thirdly, the resulting product is stable. जो प्रोडक्ट रहता है पोटेंटाइजेशन का, it is stable, easily be made and it is almost indestructible. In its use under homeopathic method and principle had proved it to be efficient and reliable in treatment of all forms of diseases. The process is practically illimitable. Means this process has no limit. Potentization of medicine by this method may be carried to any extent desired or required. The experience of practicable application always proves their value as the correct process in the cure of sick. The fact as pointed out by Ozanam, that is, Hahnemann, by his discovery of potentiation, raised homeopathy to the level with other natural sciences. It illustrates and harmonizes with the theory of interatomic ether of space, the theory of the radiant state of matter, and the theory of electrical potential of present-day physics, and with the chemico-cellular theory of physiology and pathology. It is in harmony with the latest conclusion of the modern psychology. This was the comment of Ozanam. So this is the chapter, the dynamic action of the drugs. I hope you understand important points from this chapter. And if you have any difficulty, you can comment below the video. Thank you for watching.